Meantime, you can give the attendance. Today is one interesting topic we are going to discuss. Span of control. Span of control, span of management. What is the meaning of span of control? What are the factors impacting span of control? Why it is required? So to understand everything. Looking at the figure in the screen, are you able to tell anything? You are able to guess what is span of control? You can tell anything looking at the figure diagram. There are a couple of definitions given in the screen. We'll read those. Then you can understand. First thing we'll read those definitions. The first one is the span of control in management suggests estimating the optimum number of subordinates managed by a single supervisor effectively. There is a word written here, effectively. You can observe. This is a very important word, effectively. If you answer this question, you have to mention this word. It is the primary factor that determines the shape of organization. Then in the second bullet is written, there are two types of sun. These are mainly how it is organized, how it is defined, wide and narrow. We'll understand what is wide, what is narrow. That determined by the organization, management, number of people working in the management, under a person, under a manager. Based on that, one organization may have wide control or span control or narrow control. So these are the different situations and different circumstances based on variables, like based on different factors. The span of control is defined. Degree of autonomy, number of layers, nature of work, need of supervision. Suppose an organization is having a span of control means the number of subordinates working under one manager, one person. If you observe this diagram given in the right side, there is one person under him, two. Then each one having two person. And the other diagram is having one person under him, there are five. And each one having five. So there are two figures given in the right side. One is narrow, one is wide. That is what exactly I told in the left side. Wide means if the management style is broad, suppose one person can manage more people, that is wide. One person can manage only 2-3 people, that is narrow. So broadly, there are two types of span of control. Wide span of control, narrow span of control. This is given in the diagram or the picture you can see. And this depends on many factors. We'll read that in the last point. It is mentioned the span of control refers to the number of subordinates that can be managed effectively and efficiently. I told you these two words. Let me bold it. effectively and efficiently. You can manage many people, but you should manage effectively. ମାନେ ଯେତେ ତମ ପାଖରେ କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ସମସ୍ତେ ଭଲ ଭାବରେ କାମ କରିବା ଦରକାର. That is effectively and efficiently. Their productivity, their efficiency should be there. You can manage 100 people, but if you are managing 10 people effectively, then it's better than managing 100 people. So that's why I told these two words are very important, effectively and efficiently. In your answer, you have to mention that. My supervisor or managers in an organization. As an example, a manager with 5 direct reports has a span of control of 5. So if a person having 5 person under him, that means his span of control is 5. Span of control means total number of subordinates under one person. That is the logic, that is a concept. So you understood a little bit what is the meaning of span of control. The definition, I'll go through it once again. The span of control in management suggests estimating the optimum number of subordinates managed by a single supervisor effectively. It is primary factors that determines the shape of organization. So when the span of control is big, that means the organization is big. If it is small, the organization is small. So that's why it is told that this is the factor that determines the shape of the organization. There are two types of span of control mainly: broadly wide span of control and narrow span of control. What is wide, what is narrow? That you can clearly see how people are organized in the money in the organization. That defines what if it is wide or if it is narrow. If it is narrow, that means this span of control is very less. The number of people working under one supervisor, one instructor is very less. Suppose you are in the top, you can manage only 2% or 3%. Then those three may have another three each, and they have another three each. So that means your organization may have 50, 60 employees, but ultimately you are managing only two or three. That is narrow. If everyone is reporting to me or you, that is wide. That means you are in, that is a flat organization. You are in the top and everyone, all the subordinates are working with you directly, or many people working with you directly. That is a wide organization. You have the capacity or that will read it. What are the factors defining the span of control? How it is decided? There are many factors. Depending on that, an organization will have the design of work. Another refer to the number of subordinates that can be managed effectively and efficiently by supervisor or managers in an organization. As an example, manager with 5 direct reports has span of control of 5. This is an important concept in the management. So in this slide, you understand what is span of control, what are the different types of span and control. And next we'll discuss Let's go to the next. Next we'll discuss what are the factors determining span of control. Factors affecting span of management. What is span of management and span of control? Two words, not be confused. Span of control, you understood very clearly the total number of subordinates. A manager with 5 direct reports has a span of control of 5. So span of control says how many people you are having under your organization. If it is 2 or 3 or 20, that is span of control. And managing all these things is span of management. Suppose your school principal wanted something to do in the annual function. So what he has done? He has picked up 2, 3 best students to organize the program and gave all the responsibility to those 3 students. So those 3 students will have other people working with them. So among those 3 students, you are one of them. So you asked another. You have a team of another 10. Suppose A, B, C, 3 students. A has 10, B has 15. C said I can manage everything. So C has 30. So 10, 15, 30. So all the students and you three. So all the students are responsible to organize the annual function. So whoever has 30, he has not done the work properly because there are many people, he has less capacity. Whoever has 10, he has done everything properly, or 15. So that the whole thing is coming under span of management. So you are managing everything. Just give me a second. See, the whole thing is coming under span of management. That means whenever you are organizing the work, you are deciding based on many factors. These factors we are going to discuss. The first one is adequate of supervision. So when you are deciding the structure, who are the people need more control, more supervision. So depending on depending on that factor, you are deciding it. Suppose you are saying you can manage 15 people, or you can manage 5 people because those 5 whatever you thought of requires more control, more supervision, more attention. So you cannot take more than that 5 people. But when you say 15, that means all those 15 are good person. You don't need to spend time on that. So depending on the person's quality, you are deciding that how many people you are controlling in your organization. That says about supervision, adequate supervision. Complexity. Complexity, what is that? Organization work complexity. Suppose there is a work where you don't need to supervise, you don't need to monitor. The people who are working under you, they knows the goal, they knows the work very well. That means you can manage many people and for that work. But if there is something very complex, each one requires your attention. You have to explain them, you have to sit with them. If, then you can manage less people. That is narrow span of control. If the work is very straightforward, very mechanical, then you can have wide span of control. You can manage many. So that is nature of complexity of work. What kind of work you are managing? So that is one important factor deciding the span of control, nature and complexity. First thing we understood what is supervision, how organization is deciding its span of management based on this factor. Then the nature of work complexity. Organization planning. This is another factor, how the organization is planning to expand the business. Suppose what is written here, this span of management is one of the critical factor of corporate planning. It clarifies the reporting relationship among supervisor and subordinates to the organization. Suppose the organization is planning like certain things, certain design, certain organization, certain domain. Suppose there will be one general manager and there are different people in different state. So that is another factor how. So based on that, you will design, you will structure your business. So because of your organization planning. So that is one factor which will decide your span of control, span of management, how people are organized in your organization. These are three important factors. There are many. We'll read. We'll take a quick break here. After 5 minutes, yeah, maximum 5 minutes, we'll log into the same link. So we'll complete this. And also, I told you one thing, that to look at the syllabus. You have seen that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything you want to